All right. Give me a minute here to get going. Sunday morning, in the middle of 2020, jumping on my rebounder trampoline in the middle of my bathroom right now, because for those that know me know that I love rebounding. It's one of my favorite exercises. It's just fun to me. It's a great way to get the energy going, and I can just spend all day just bouncing on here. But anyways, wanted to figured, hey, I'm gonna do a live stream here since I don't always get the chance while I'm hopping on the trampoline. And Sundays are a better day for me for doing these live streams, just because I'm not getting so many phone calls and interruptions, which could happen right now. I could get someone call me right in the middle of this and interrupt the whole thing, but we're just gonna go with it. So anyways, today's topic, what I'm gonna be talking about, is staying sober in 2020. What a year it has been. And what's interesting is that I'm getting more people than ever before that are applying for coaching with me and hiring me for coaching. And this is really telling, because I don't really advertise my coaching that aggressively. If you look at a lot of my videos, I don't even have links to my coaching, and I'm going to update that soon, but it's almost kind of difficult to do coaching with me, yet people are so desperate right now for leadership and for help because of the insanity that is going on in the world, that it is manifesting and expressing itself in a lot of different ways. So 2020 has been quite the year, and I'm having more people than ever that are reaching out to me, that are on the brink of losing their sanity. Some have completely thrown in the towel and have just accepted going back to a life of getting fucked up every day, drinking and doing drugs, and because everything is just too crazy for them to handle. They've just thrown in the towel on their dreams, on their ambitions, and it is sad to see. Unfortunately, I know people in my personal life that they were doing great, but 2020 broke them, and unfortunately they threw in the towel. And although they were doing so good, they just threw everything away because they just couldn't handle the external world. And I know this has been a crazy year. I don't think there's anybody on earth that can say that this hasn't been a crazy year, unless you live out in the middle of the jungle, which I almost kind of envy those people. That's looking better and better by the day, living off the grid. But this is the thing. Everything we have ever been through in our whole life has been preparing us for these moments, for this. Years like this, like 2020, are what create the real growth. Like I've always said on my channel, and like I'm going to continue to say, is that we don't grow when things are easy. We grow from challenges. We embrace the hard and what is difficult, because that's how growth is created. That's how we get stronger. If you see the people who go to the gym, reading the magazines, they're never the ones who have growth, extraordinary growth. Really, you can see them month after month, year after year, and they look the exact same. The people who have the most growth when it comes to working out are the ones that do it hard. They push themselves. And so, thus are the same with life as well. Years like this is how we grow. And this is what I want to say on that, is that there's a lot of things in the outside world that are going on. And much of it, we have little to no control over, if you think about it. And I'll dive into that. But, I want you to, this is the thing. I haven't even had basic cable in over 10 years. I very rarely watch TV. I don't watch the news at all. I guess I'm just uninformed, like some people would say. But I'm cool with that, I just live a simple life. I tend to my garden. I love being with my plants, my animals, focus on being the best dad that I can be. I'm passionate about my businesses, people I'm coaching. And I just live a simple life, and I'm cool. Maybe I don't know, maybe I'm not an expert in all the world's problems, but I'm cool with just being a simple fool. And something that I do have in my life, unlike a lot of people, is peace. I experience the best kind of pleasure, and that's what I want to share with you guys to help you, because I know what it's like to be on the other side. And I tell you what, it is so. Last night, it was a Saturday night. It's a common night that people go out and they just get fucked up, just like I used to. I spent my Saturday night in reading. Phenomenal book, very old book. I'll grab it and I'll share it with you. But guys, that is the best kind of pleasure in the world, the simple things in life. And so this is what I'm talking about, is that a lot of people, their sanity is breaking, and they are not able to handle what is going on right now, because all of their happiness and their emotions and their life is dependent on the external world. Their happiness in the way that they feel about life is dependent upon who is the president. Their happiness and their way of life and their level of stress they have in life is dependent upon how their community and society is acting. That is a very difficult way to go about life, because the thing is that we can't control other people. We have very little to no control over who the president is. Of course you can vote, but that's about it. We have very little control over politics. We have very little control over climate change. We have very little control over almost anything that the mainstream news talks about. And this is the thing. This is what we do have control over. We have control over our character, over our principles, and most importantly, we have control over our daily disciplines. The actions that we choose to take from the moment that we wake up, from the time that we go to sleep. Regardless of the circumstances, we always have control over our attitude. Whether you are held captive as a prisoner of war, or you're living in the USA, or you're in a prison or whatever, everything can be taken from you in this life except for one thing, and that is the last of our freedoms, which is the ability to choose our own attitude. And that's why mindset is everything, because our mind is our best and our worst enemy. You can make a heaven out of hell, or hell out of heaven. It's all in the mind. A great book I highly recommend to read, Man's Search for Meaning, by Dr. Viktor Frankl. And this was a doctor, who lost everything in the Holocaust. He was captured, his family was killed, and he was kept as a prisoner of war for years. Everything was, he witnessed children killed in front of him, and was starved, and saw women and children starved to death and brutally beaten and killed right in front of him. And there's one part in the book where they were just basically starving all the prisoners. And what they did is it's been years since I read it, but I remember he was beaten. They were just so vicious and cruel, but finally they locked him up in this tiny little room and were starving him even more. And this is a man that already had lost everything, had witnessed atrocities for a very long time, they put him in this room, this isolation room, just to torture him even more and to starve him even more. And they're just giving him a tiny little bowl of soup. That's it for the whole day. Well, he's practically freezing to death. And one day, they bring him a bowl of soup. And in the bowl of soup, there was a little chunk of potato in there. And he said that was one of the happiest moments of his life. That was one of the happiest moments of his life. That he felt a level of joy and happiness unlike almost anything he'd ever experienced. And he said that was taught him so much that regardless of the situation that you're in, our mind has the ability to create happiness and to create joy and pleasure unlike anything that we've ever experienced, even being in the worst of situation. And that is what it taught him. And this is what I'm trying to teach, is that regardless of what is going on, you have the ability to create a heaven out of hell, or heaven out of heaven out of hell, or hell out of heaven. It is all in your mind, in the way that you perceive things. The first step I would recommend is to turn off the news. Turn off the media. Read books instead. Meditate. Talk to your neighbors. You're going to see that the world is not as scary and as crazy as the news makes it out to seem. In my opinion, it is better to go like that throughout life than the people that are glued to the news, living in fear, chaos, and destruction. Focus on what you can control. Like I was saying, we cannot control the external world. I can't control, I live a very simple life. I have no debt, I invest, I don't spend a lot of money, I put my money into simple investments, but I can't control if all of a sudden the economy collapses. It could happen. All of a sudden the dollar could go down to zero, and all the years of my saving and everything for nothing. That will break a lot of people. But if you have a strong mindset, then you will prosper through it. Regardless if that happens, if the entire economy collapses and things get worse and worse, which they really could, everything can get taken from us but the last of our freedoms, which is the ability to choose our own attitude. Regardless, as the world is crumbling down around us, you can still choose to honor your character, to honor your principles, to honor your daily disciplines. If you were thrown in prison for a crime you didn't even commit and you were sentenced to a life sentence, although it would be unfair and unjust, how would you handle it? Would you handle it by living out the rest of your days depressed, killing yourself, all kinds of other toxic behavior? Or would you make the best of it and say, you know what? I got no choice. It was unfair that happened to me, but I might as well make the best of it. I know for sure I would be the one who would focus on making the best of it. Although it wasn't an ideal situation, hey, you know what? It is what it is. I'm in prison for the rest of my life. Let's just, make the best of it. Do killer workouts every day, meditate, lots of time for personal reflection. Make the best of it. See, again, this is where it comes back to self-reliance, relying on ourselves. And this is due to conditioning. And this is why the world has gone mad and is going crazy, is because we've been conditioned from the time that we were young to rely on the external world. We've been conditioned in almost every aspect of our lives to look outward, to seek externally, instead of realizing that our health problems come from within, and that humans have the incredible ability to heal themselves from the inside out. We seek external remedies. Pharmaceutical drugs, medications, vaccines, this, that. Instead, people rely on Google, external sources. They got to do this. They got to read a book or YouTube, whatever. Watch a YouTube video to get their answers in life. Very rarely do people go within. Go within. In almost every situation in life, the answer is to go inside. Seek within. And this is why it is so important to take time out of your day for self-reflection. To allow yourself to be quiet, meditate, exercise. That's one of the things I love about exercising, because it's a chance for me to just be alone in my thoughts. I'm a single dad, I have businesses, I have people all the time bugging me, reaching out to me. My exercise is the one time that, I really get this time to myself. Right now, this isn't kind of normal. Usually I'm not on social media like this whole exercise thing, but it's so important to have those times of isolation to ourselves. And let me see, I know you guys may have been asking questions. I wonder if you guys can even hear me. Let's just take a look real quick. See, Channel, messenger, visible. Okay. Need love, your self-love. That's it. Self-love, main priority today. Stay focused, stay positive. 5 minutes already received jams. Hey, do you have any bad habits or aspects of life you'd like to change? Yeah, I'll talk about that. Okay, let's just see what else you're going to say. Hey, man, that's glad to hear. 1 week down. So, okay, so let me keep going here. Okay. Yeah, I believe it was you, Charlie, who asked that question. Do I have any bad habits or things about my life I would like to change? Of course I do. I'm super, I'm far away from being perfect, and I'll be open and honest that one of my biggest problems, I'll mention several of my biggest problems, but one of mine is that I get distracted super easily. I've always had to, oh, look, squirrel. And so I get distracted real easily. Go into social media and get, next thing you know, start watching videos and I get distracted real easily. And that's something I've been working on for a long time. I've gotten better. And I love that about myself because I'm very curious, but at the same time, it is also a hindrance. So I admit that that's something that I got to work on. Yeah, I'm still doing my workout. I really hope you guys are working out today as well. Highly recommend to get a rebounder if you can, one of these trampolines. It makes it a lot of fun. Throw any questions in here as we're going. I'll just keep speaking. I don't mind, I can speak forever. But throw questions in. And so this is the thing. Just like I was saying, the first step is to turn off the news, the media. Get rid of even your basic cable. I haven't had it in over 10 years. I promise you, you're not missing anything. You'll find out everything you need to know from other people. They're gonna tell you anything every way. That's what I've realized. People will just tell you and you'll figure it out. But go within, and this is also something that I want to speak on as well. You see, a lot of people, they're breaking their sanity right now. They're resorting to drugs and alcohol. And this is because they have no grip on their mind and their emotions. They just allow their emotions to be jerked around. They allow their mind to just totally be manipulated. Life truly is a battle for the soul. And it is said that the mind, the soul is the mind. It resides within the soul. The soul resides within the mind. Our mind is our best and our worst enemy. Our mind makes an incredible servant, but a terrible master. Our mind can just get us to be an incredible workout, to be work ethic, stay consistent, but it can be a terrible, terrible master. Just like I was saying, how I can get distracted. That's the terrible master, and that's just, we have to accept our nature and know that all the corporations out there and the world know this. The wealthiest people in the world, the biggest corporations in the world, they know this. How easily it is to manipulate humans. And how all they gotta do is dangle a little carrot in front of us, and most people just walk away from their goals, their dreams, their journey to peace for that carrot that they'll never get. And they dangle it in front of you so that they can continue to get richer and more powerful. And this goes really deep. But this is the reality of it and the truth. These corporations, these companies, the media, the news, all these things, they don't have your best interests at heart. And I know a lot of people don't want to accept this because then that would mean they would have to accept that much of what they know is a lie. But it's okay. People have this fear of being wrong, fear of failure. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to fail. This is how we get better. I find that the ones who have the least ability to grow and don't grow, and if anything go down, are the ones that think they know everything. They know everything already. They are, oh yeah, I know everything. It's funny how people who hire me for coaching, pay me for coaching, and yet they want to fight me on everything. They want to argue with me and everything because they know everything. But the ones that get the absolute best results are the ones who stay open, the ones who are coachable. To become a great leader, you have to be an even better follower. It's okay to accept you were wrong. and to follow someone. Find someone who has what you want, who has the mentality that you want, and then model them. I'm not saying to copy everything about them, but that is how we evolve, we grow, and we get better, is we accept areas in which we've been wrong, and then model after people who have the life and the lifestyle that we want. But going through life, allowing your emotional well-being to be tied to the external world, that's just a recipe for disaster, because there's always going to be chaos, and you'll never be able to control your community, your how your neighbors act, how the politics are, whatever. Sure, you can take action and try to change the world that way. I'm all for people taking action, whatever that action is. I would rather you take action than no action at all. But still understand, regardless of the action you're taking, that you are responsible for your own happiness. Become the self-generator of your own feel-good emotions. I'll say that again. Become the generator of your own self-feel-good emotions. If you require a substance, to smoke weed, to drink, to pop a pill, to alleviate your anxiety or depression, then you're relying on the external world to provide you with those feel-good emotions. That's not how we get stronger. We get stronger by dealing with our problems, by dealing with the craziness, by dealing with it. We go inside. We find, what's the silver lining from this? We ask better questions. What can I learn from this? What can I learn? What is great about this? I was on the phone the other day with someone, powerful conversation. I'm going to share a whole video on this, super powerful. But this person, they lost a loved one to death, and they were devastated. And I'm coaching with them, working with them, and I go through a series of questions with them. That's what I do with a lot of my coaching clients. I go through a series of questions with them, and I said, look, what is great about this problem? And they said, nothing. Nothing is great about this, I lost my loved one. What could possibly be great about this? And they were real stuck. They couldn't, evolve past it. Fortunately, we did, and this is what I'm going to share with you. So they were fighting, nothing's great about this. And so I asked them more questions, but they were real stubborn. They were stuck on this, nothing is great about this. What could be great about the death of my loved one, and nothing is great about this. And so I'm thinking, all right, how can we get past this? How can we get past this? And so then I asked them, I said, is it possible to think of a silver lining and what is great about this situation? Is it 100% impossible not to think of a solution? Is there even like a tiny minuscule chance that it is possible? Maybe we just don't know the solution yet and the answer, but is there a glimmer of hope possibility? And they said, well, I guess if you put it like that, it's practically impossible, but it is possible. I just don't know what it is yet. And I said, that's it. I knew I had something we could work with. And I said, so it is possible. It's not impossible. There is a way. And so we kept digging deeper, diving more, and finally, I was able to get them to start to come up with some solutions. And they said, well, I guess what's great about this problem is that I'm in so much pain and so much suffering that at least I know I'm alive, because if I wasn't feeling this level of pain and suffering, then I wouldn't even be alive. And I said, boom, that's right, okay. Now we're getting somewhere. I just try to work with what I can get. And he said, okay, all right. And sure enough, they started opening up more and more and saying, okay, guess what's great about this is it's helped me to appreciate even more the people the family and the people that I do have in my life. It's forced me to consider spirituality even more and to think about deeper topics. And before you know it, they started opening up more and more. And this is what we do. We have to control the questions that we ask. Our lives are ruled by questions. Most people don't realize this, but our lives are ruled by questions. The question is one of the most powerful things in the world. Your question is one thing that completely differentiates animals or humans from just about every other creature on earth, is that unlike animals, we have the ability to ask questions. We can say, okay, what is great about this problem? How can we make it even better? We can ask very complex questions, simple questions. And a lot of people don't realize that their entire lives are ruled by questions. For example, you go through a breakup, and people will say over and over, why did you cheat on me? Why did you do that? Why did you do that? And they'll ask these questions over in their head that never can have a solution, will never be answered. And this is why it's very difficult for them to evolve past it. Because I have a friend just like this. Years later, he's still asking these questions. I just don't get why she would cheat on me. Why would she do that? I gave her everything. Why would she do this? It's a looping question, like a skipping CD. What we have to do is take control of the questions in our lives. Instead, force your mind to say, what is great about this problem? As difficult as it may be. Okay, right. The world is crumbling down around us. What is great about this problem? Society is at its breaking point. What is great about this problem? What is great about this? Of course it's difficult to ask these types of questions. That's how we grow. You don't grow when things are easy. What is great about this? And then we start to think, it is going to help me to grow stronger. Okay, it's helping me to work more on self-reliance, because obviously I can't depend on the system as much, so I'm becoming more self-reliant. Okay, all right, it's teaching me to learn what to be more grateful for, that, hey, a lot of things that I complained about a year or two ago, I realize now I would be grateful to have those problems because of everything that's going on. And you go on and on, you ask questions, you take what you can get, but you ask questions that are going to help you think of a solution. Because humans by nature typically only focus on the problems. I asked a question on my Facebook yesterday. Received a very simple question, received over 100 comments, and not even one person answered the question that I asked. The question that I asked was a simple question. It was a solution-oriented question, asking for a solution. And instead, over 100 comments, every single person only focused on the problem. Not even one person answered the question. That's how human nature is. By nature, people are focused on problems, and very few people focus on the solutions. But if we only focus on the problems, then we're just like that deer in headlights. We get better as we focus on the solution. Maybe you're on the verge of breaking sanity. You want to throw everything away, start smoking, drinking. Instead of focusing on the problems in the world, focus on the solutions. All right, how can I make this situation even better? Well, I know that I can start working out every single day. That's something that I can't control, okay? Well, I can start reading every day, take back control of my mind and educating myself. Well, I can start meditating every day. Well, I can start a garden. I can start going for walks. I can start playing an instrument, blah, blah, blah. You start working on the solutions. What is not great about this problem? How can we make it even better? That's what you do. You focus on what you can control. The daily actions. Take more pride in the consistency and your daily actions than the result. You can't always control the result, but you can control your daily actions and your consistency. Take pride in that. And then you're going to earn a new type of pleasure. The best kind of pleasure. Way better than smoking some weed, getting anxiety and all bugged out. Oh my God. And then all of a sudden, you wake up the next day tired and lethargic. No. The best kind of pleasure is you get up, you take right action all day long, you do what is necessary, you go to sleep exhausted from giving the day your all, get a good night's sleep, wake up the next day and do it again. Take pride in the consistency and taking right action in spite of the external world. Okay. How long have I, oh my gosh, I've been bouncing for 30 minutes. Wow, time flies by. Well, let me catch up on some of these messages. Hey bro, thanks for your videos. 1 month sober, I love hearing that. What's up, Steve? What's up, brother? How you doing, man? What's up, my brother? Main priority is to stay focused, positive, need your love, self-love. Hey guys, I'm real glad to hear you all are doing good. And stay strong, stay sane. Focus on what you can control, not on what is out of control. Protect your mind, protect your soul, and focus on your daily disciplines, your daily rituals, your principles, and your character. With that being said, guys, hope y'all having a great day, a great week, a great month, a great year. Let's make it a great life. Peace. Now I always never know how to turn these off. How do you turn this video off? Keep up the great work. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Just trying to figure out how to turn this video off.